Tom lived alone on a small colony on the outer edge of the Andorra system. His home was a modest building made of metal and glass, with large windows that looked out over a quiet, rocky landscape. Most days were calm and ordinary. He spent his time repairing machines, growing small gardens, and watching the stars from his porch. He liked the peace, the silence, and the simple rhythm of life. One evening, after finishing his work, Tom prepared a small dinner of roasted vegetables and protein cubes. The sun had just set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. He was about to sit down when he heard a soft knock at the door. At first, he thought it was the wind or a small animal. The colony was far from any neighbors, and visits were extremely rare. The knock came again, more insistent this time. Tom felt a strange chill run through him. It was not a fear he recognized but a sense that something unusual had arrived. He set his plate aside and walked slowly to the door. When he opened it, his eyes widened. Standing before him was a being unlike anything he had ever seen. She was tall, taller than any human he had met, and her skin shimmered in faint shades of silver and blue, almost like the surface of a calm lake under moonlight. Her eyes were large and luminous, changing colors subtly as they reflected the light. Her hair moved slightly, as if it had its own life, floating gently even though there was no wind. "I am Myra," she said in a soft, melodic voice that seemed to resonate inside his chest. "I need shelter. My spacecraft is damaged. Please, may I come inside?" Tom blinked. His mind raced. An alien at his door? Alone? Needing shelter? Every instinct told him to step back, to call for help, but something in her presence was calming. There was no threat, only a quiet sadness mixed with hope. He hesitated, then stepped aside. "Come in," he said finally, his voice steady despite the rapid beating of his heart. Myra moved inside with grace, her feet barely making a sound on the metal floor. She looked around curiously, her large eyes scanning every detail of the small home. Tom noticed the faint hum that followed her, like the energy around her was alive. "I do not wish to cause trouble," Myra said. "I only need a place to rest and repair my ship. It will take time." Tom nodded, unsure of what else to say. He offered her a seat in a chair by the window. Myra sat without hesitation, her posture elegant and composed. She did not touch anything unnecessarily but seemed to study everything with quiet interest. As Tom moved to the kitchen to finish his dinner, he noticed her watching him. "Do you eat?" she asked. "Yes," Tom replied. "I was just about to have dinner. Would you like something to eat?" Myra smiled faintly, and the light in her eyes shifted to a warmer tone. "I can consume energy in different forms," she said. "But I will share this meal with you. It is part of learning about your species." Tom served a small portion and sat across from her. As they ate, he felt a strange connection forming. It was not just curiosity or fear. Myra seemed genuinely interested in him, and her presence carried a calm wisdom that was almost magnetic. After a few moments of silence, Tom asked, "What happened to your spacecraft?" Myra's eyes dimmed slightly. "It was attacked," she said. "By those who do not understand peace. I escaped, but I cannot continue without repairs. I do not want to bring danger to your home, so I must remain quiet." Tom nodded. He did not fully understand her words, but he sensed the truth in them. "You are safe here," he said. "No one will find you. I can help if you need." Myra looked at him carefully, as if deciding whether to trust him. Then she nodded. "Your kindness is unusual among the species I have encountered," she said. "You may be different. Perhaps your people have potential to grow beyond their current limits." Tom felt a mix of pride and confusion. Her words were flattering, but he did not understand the meaning. He simply smiled and said, "I try to do what is right." The night grew deeper, and the colony lights outside blink softly in the distance. Myra asked to see his small garden, and together they walked to the glass-walled area where Tom grew vegetables and small plants. She moved slowly, her hands hovering over the plants but not touching them. "They are alive in ways you do not understand," she said softly. "Your care allows them to thrive. Your species can create life and nurture it. This is a power often overlooked." Tom felt proud. He had spent years tending these plants, and to hear her appreciation meant something. "Thank you," he said. Myra turned to him, her eyes reflecting the dim light. "I will not stay long," she said. "But while I am here, I can share knowledge that may help you and your people. You must decide if you are willing to learn." Tom's heart raced. Knowledge from an alien species? The possibilities were incredible, but he also felt the weight of responsibility. "I want to learn," he said finally. Myra smiled, a slow, deliberate movement that seemed to light the room. "Then we begin tomorrow," she said. "Tonight, you must rest. Energy is needed for understanding. You will not learn if you are weak." Tom nodded and returned to his home, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. Myra followed quietly, settling in the living room where she seemed to generate her own soft light. Before he went to bed, Tom glanced at her and asked, "Why me? Why did you come here?" Myra's eyes softened. "I came where hope allowed me," she said. "And hope sometimes finds unexpected doors. Yours was open." As Tom lay down to sleep, he could still see her silhouette bathed in soft light. He did not know what awaited him in the days to come, but for the first time, he felt that life on the quiet colony might change forever. The night held no fear, only a sense of wonder and the quiet promise of a future filled with possibilities. The morning sunlight poured through the large windows of Tom's home, painting the walls with a soft golden light. Tom awoke to the gentle hum of Myra's presence. She was already awake, sitting near the window, her eyes scanning the horizon. Her skin glimmered faintly, reflecting the early sunlight, and the air around her seemed calmer, almost alive. "Good morning," Tom said, stretching. "Did you sleep well?" Myra turned her gaze toward him, her eyes shifting from green to blue. "I do not require rest in the same way you do," she said. "But your home provides energy that allows me to function fully. It is comfortable and safe." Tom nodded. He poured himself a cup of nutrient drink and offered one to her. She declined, shaking her head gracefully. "I take what is necessary differently," she said. "Your food is for learning and sharing, not for energy. But I appreciate your gesture." After breakfast, Tom tried to continue with his usual routine, tending to his machines and checking small repairs around the house. Myra followed quietly, observing everything he did. Her attention to detail was remarkable. She noticed minor flaws and suggested ways to improve efficiency. Tom was surprised at how quickly she understood his technology, even better than manuals or training guides. "You understand quickly," he said, wiping his hands. "Have you studied many machines like these?" Myra shook her head. "Not like yours. I study life and energy. Machines are part of life when they interact with living beings. I can assist, if you allow me." Tom hesitated. The idea of letting an alien touch his devices felt strange, yet he could not ignore the curiosity and intelligence in her words. "All right," he said. "Show me what you can do." Myra extended her hand, and a small device floated from her palm. It was about the size of a human fist, glowing with soft light and emitting faint pulses. "This is a harmonizer," she explained. "It can repair minor damage, heal wounds, and stabilize energy. It will demonstrate the principles I use to interact with life and technology." Tom raised an eyebrow. "Repair wounds?" "Small ones," Myra said with a faint smile. "You will see." She gestured toward his hand, which had a small cut from the night before. The cut was not deep, but it had left a slight red mark. The harmonizer hovered above his hand and emitted a warm, steady light. Tom felt a gentle vibration under his skin. Within moments, the cut disappeared. His skin was smooth, unbroken, and warm to the touch. He stared at his hand in disbelief. "That is incredible," he said. "How did you do that?" Myra's eyes glowed softly. "It is energy manipulation. Your body responds to energy in specific ways. I guide the flow to promote repair. Humans have potential to understand this, but most have not learned to see it yet." Tom marveled at her explanation. The idea that healing could be achieved without medicine or tools he understood was astonishing. "Could it do more than a cut?" he asked cautiously. "Yes," Myra said. "But it requires careful control. Energy cannot be forced. It must be guided. Later, I will teach you principles so you can use your own strength to enhance life." For the rest of the morning, Myra moved quietly through the house, demonstrating small tasks with her harmonizers. A broken door hinge was restored perfectly. A dying plant in his garden seemed to regain strength as she passed her hands over it. Even a small machine he had struggled to fix for weeks began to function smoothly under her guidance. Tom watched everything with a mixture of awe and disbelief. "This is unlike anything I have seen," he said. "Your technology, your knowledge, it could change everything." Myra's eyes softened. "It could," she said. "But it is not only technology. Understanding life, respect for energy, and cooperation are more important. Humans have the ability to achieve this, but they must choose to grow. Knowledge alone is not enough." Tom thought about her words. He had always dreamed of helping humanity reach new heights, but he never imagined the opportunity would come in this way. "I want to learn," he said firmly. "Teach me." Myra nodded. "Patience is necessary. Learning begins with observation. You have done well today by trusting me and allowing my guidance. Tomorrow, we begin deeper work." As the day continued, Myra asked Tom to sit with her in the garden. She pointed to each plant, explaining how energy flows through living beings, how small adjustments could improve growth, and how cooperation between life forms could amplify strength. Tom listened carefully, trying to understand, though the ideas were new and sometimes difficult. "This energy exists everywhere," Myra said. "In plants, in animals, in machines that interact with life. Humans sense it, but most cannot manipulate it consciously. You have the ability to learn, but only if you respect its power." Tom was fascinated. "So this is what you meant about humans having potential?" "Yes," Myra replied. "You can do more than survive. You can thrive, grow, and create in ways beyond your current understanding. But it requires trust, patience, and focus." Tom's mind was full of questions, but he realized that rushing would not help. He followed Myra's instructions carefully, practicing small techniques she demonstrated. Even the simplest exercises, like feeling the energy in a plant or guiding it gently, made him more aware of the world around him. By late afternoon, Tom noticed a change. He felt lighter, calmer, and more alert. Myra observed quietly, smiling faintly. "You are responding well," she said. "Your body and mind are more open to learning. This is the first step. Growth will continue." As the evening approached, Tom helped Myra set up a small area in his home for her to repair her ship. He watched as she worked with precision, using her devices and energy manipulation to restore minor systems. Sparks of light glowed around her hands, and the ship's systems began humming with renewed energy. Tom could not hide his amazement. "I never thought I would see anything like this," he said. "It feels magical." Myra shook her head slightly. "It is not magic. It is understanding life, energy, and cooperation. Humans often call it magic because they do not see it clearly. When you learn, you will know the difference. The day ended with Tom sitting quietly, reflecting on everything he had witnessed. Myra moved to a corner of the living room, her presence calm and steady. He realized that the world he knew was only a small part of what was possible. Humanity had potential to achieve greatness, but it required learning from those willing to guide them. Tom felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. Myra's gifts were extraordinary, but more than that, her knowledge offered hope for a future he had never imagined. He understood that this was only the beginning of something much larger. As he went to sleep that night, Tom thought about the strange visitor who had knocked on his door. He realized that life on his quiet colony would never be the same. The possibilities stretched before him like the endless stars above, and he could not wait to discover what came next. The next morning, Tom awoke to the soft hum of Myra's presence again. She was standing near the window, watching the pale morning light reflect off the distant hills. Today, she seemed even more radiant, her skin glimmering faintly, and the air around her carried a calm energy that made breathing feel easier. "Good morning," Tom said, entering the living room. "Are you ready to begin our next lesson?" Myra turned and smiled. "Yes," she said. "Today, I will show you a glimpse of my world. Understanding it will help you see what is possible for life, for humans, and for cooperation between beings." Tom's curiosity piqued. "Your world? You mean your planet?" "Yes," Myra replied. "It is a place of learning, energy, and life in harmony. You will see, even in brief, how civilizations can grow when they respect life and each other." She motioned toward a small device on the table. It was flat and circular, with faint glowing symbols. "This is a hollow projector," she explained. "It will show images and energy patterns from my home planet. You will see, but do not touch. Observation is the first step." Tom nodded and watched as Myra activated the device. A soft light filled the room, and suddenly, a three-dimensional image appeared in the air. He gasped. The first scene showed a city floating above lush green forests, towers of crystal-like material reflected sunlight, and bridges of glowing energy connected each structure. The streets were filled with beings similar to Myra, moving gracefully and calmly, working together. Every movement seemed deliberate, every action part of a larger harmony. Tom's eyes widened. This is incredible. It looks alive." Myra nodded. "It is alive. Every being, every structure, every energy flow contributes to the balance. Cooperation is the foundation of life there. Conflict is rare because understanding is valued above all else." The scene shifted, showing vast landscapes of rolling hills, sparkling rivers, and floating islands. Birds and creatures, unlike any Tom had seen, moved with intelligence and purpose. The energy in the air shimmered, and he could almost feel it brushing against his skin. "Everything there thrives because every action respects life," Myra explained. "Your world has potential for this, but humans often overlook harmony. You focus on competition and conquest instead of growth and understanding." Tom felt a mix of awe and shame. He had always believed humans could achieve greatness, but seeing another civilization that had already done so humbled him. "So, you are saying humans can learn from this?" he asked. "Yes," Myra replied. "Humans can grow, if they are willing to see beyond fear and selfishness. Your species has curiosity, creativity, and resilience. These traits can allow you to achieve more than you imagine." The hollow projector shifted again. This time, it showed classrooms, laboratories, and learning centers where young beings studied energy, life, and cooperation. Tom noticed they were not just memorizing facts, they were practicing, experimenting, and understanding how energy flowed through everything around them. "They begin learning at an early age," Myra said. "They are taught to sense life and guide it, to respect energy, and to help others grow. Knowledge is shared freely, and competition exists only to improve understanding, not to harm. Tom leaned forward, captivated. It is beautiful. They live in balance, yet they are so advanced. Myra smiled softly. Balance is not weakness. It is strength. Humans have strength, but often do not know how to guide it. You will learn that strength combined with understanding can change everything. As Tom absorbed the images, he noticed Myra's eyes were serious. I show you this because you must see what is possible, she said. The future of your species depends on your willingness to grow, to learn, and to cooperate. Knowledge alone is not enough, you must choose to act. Tom nodded slowly. I want to act. I want to learn and help. But, how can humans achieve something like this? Myra's eyes glowed softly. It begins with small steps. Learning to observe, to understand, and to cooperate. Sharing knowledge without selfishness. Respecting life and energy. One person can influence others, if they lead with example. The holo projector shifted one last time, showing a distant battlefield where Myra's people fought against shadowy invaders. The scene was brief but intense. Beings moved with precision, using energy to protect life and stop destruction. There was no cruelty, only defense and strategy guided by intelligence. They are not warriors by nature, Myra explained. They fight only to protect life and freedom. Humans must understand that strength is best used to defend and build, not to destroy. This is what you must learn if you wish to grow beyond your current limits. Tom felt a thrill and a weight at the same time. The images were inspiring, but they also reminded him of the responsibility he carried. He had seen humans make mistakes, start wars, and ignore the balance Myra described. Could they really change? Could he help them? Myra seemed to sense his thoughts. Change is difficult, but possible. You have courage and curiosity. These are the first steps. Trust in your abilities, and you will discover more than you imagine. After the holo projector shut down, Tom remained silent for a long time. He stared at the empty space, imagining the floating cities, the green landscapes, and the energy that flowed everywhere. Myra watched him quietly, her presence calm and reassuring. Your world has potential, Tom, she said gently. I see in you a spark that can guide others. Learning begins with observation, but action must follow. You must decide if you are ready to take the next step. Tom took a deep breath. I am ready, he said firmly. I want to learn, to understand, and to help humanity grow. I will do whatever I can. Myra nodded, a faint glow surrounding her. Then tomorrow, we begin practical work. You will experience how energy flows through life, and how it can be guided to improve growth, health, and cooperation. You will see firsthand what humans are capable of when they apply knowledge responsibly. Tom felt a surge of excitement. The possibilities seemed endless. He knew the journey would be difficult, but he also knew that learning from Myra could change his life and the future of humanity. He was determined to follow her guidance, to grow stronger, and to discover the potential within himself and his species. As the day ended, Tom looked out at the horizon. The colony was quiet, the hills bathed in soft orange light. Yet, in his mind, visions of floating cities, lush forests, and intelligent life filled every thought. He realized that life had opened a door he had never imagined, and he could not wait to step through it. Myra stood nearby, watching silently. The first steps are always small, she said. But even small steps can lead to greatness. Tom smiled. Then we start tomorrow, he said. The morning began quietly, with sunlight spilling over the rocky hills surrounding Tom's home. Birds chirped in the distance, and the air smelled fresh after a light rainfall. Tom felt a sense of calm as he prepared for the day. He had grown used to Myra's presence, and her lessons about energy and life had begun to open his mind to possibilities he never imagined. Myra, however, seemed more alert than usual. She moved through the room with a soft grace, her eyes scanning the horizon repeatedly. Tom noticed her unusual attention but did not yet understand its significance. "Is something wrong?" he asked, pouring a cup of nutrient drink for himself. Myra turned to him, her eyes shifting from blue to gold. "I sense movement nearby," she said quietly. "Not natural movement. Someone, or something, is approaching your location. It is subtle, but persistent. You must be cautious." Tom's heart skipped a beat. "Approaching? How close?" "Close enough to be dangerous if they are hostile," Myra replied. "We have limited time to prepare. You must follow my instructions exactly." Tom felt a mix of fear and determination. "What do we do?" Myra walked to a small console she had brought from her ship. With a few gestures, she activated a series of energy fields around the home. They were faint at first, barely visible, but they hummed with a subtle power. "These fields will mask our presence," she explained. "They will make it difficult for anyone outside to detect us. But they will not stop all threats. We must remain vigilant." Tom nodded, watching as she moved with precise movements, her hands guiding invisible currents of energy. He felt a strange warmth in the air, as if the room itself were alive and protecting them. Minutes passed in tense silence. The calm morning now felt heavy, charged with anticipation. Then, a soft vibration ran through the ground. Tom looked outside, seeing faint shadows moving among the hills. They were humanoid, but their movements were unnatural, deliberate, and almost mechanical. "They have found our location," Myra whispered. "We must be ready." Tom swallowed hard but stood tall. "What can I do to help?" Myra handed him a small device. It was similar to the harmonizer, but designed for defense. "This will generate a protective barrier when activated. Focus your mind on controlling it. Do not panic. Energy responds to calm, not fear." Tom took a deep breath and held the device. He felt a faint vibration under his fingers, almost like a heartbeat. Slowly, he raised it and concentrated, imagining a barrier forming around the home. To his amazement, a faint shimmer appeared in the air, invisible to the outside but tangible to him. Myra smiled faintly. "Good. Now, stay focused. They will test us, but the barrier must hold. Trust your instincts." The shadows moved closer, and the first figures came into view. They were tall, armored, and carried strange devices that emitted low pulses. Tom felt their energy before he saw them clearly: cold, sharp, and aggressive. Myra's eyes narrowed. "They are scouts," she said. "They will test our defenses first. If we fail, more will follow." Tom's hands tightened around the device. He could feel the barrier responding, growing stronger with his focus. Myra moved beside him, her own energy flowing through the room, strengthening the shield. Together, they formed a protective cocoon that hummed with unseen power. The first scout reached the edge of the property and paused, sensing something unusual. Its device emitted a sharp pulse, scanning for life forms. Tom felt a surge of fear, but he held his concentration. The barrier flared briefly, and the scout recoiled as if repelled by an invisible force. "They feel it," Myra said. "Good. Keep focus. Do not let them see doubt." Several more scouts approached, testing the edges of the barrier. Tom felt his energy being pushed to the limit, but Myra's presence calmed him. "Energy is not only power," she said quietly. "It is balance. Too much, and it breaks. Too little, and it fails. Find the middle." Tom adjusted his focus, and the barrier stabilized. The scouts hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. Myra whispered instructions, guiding him with subtle gestures and words. Together, they moved like a single being, their combined energy creating a dome that shielded the home completely. After what felt like hours but was only minutes, the scouts retreated, scanning the surrounding area one last time before disappearing into the hills. Tom lowered the device, breathing heavily but feeling triumphant. "They will return," Myra said. "But now you see how energy can be used for protection. Humans have power, Tom, but most do not know how to harness it. You have learned the first step today." Tom wiped sweat from his brow. "I never imagined anything like this. I didn't think humans could even defend against something like that." Myra shook her head. "It is not about strength alone. It is about understanding, focus, and cooperation. You see now that humans have potential beyond what you realize. You only need guidance and the willingness to grow." Tom nodded, still absorbing the lesson. He felt both exhilarated and exhausted. "So, this is what you meant about humans having potential? Even in danger?" "Yes," Myra said. "Potential is revealed in challenge. Fear and adversity bring strength when approached with understanding. You have learned quickly, Tom. You are ready for more lessons, but you must rest first. Energy must recover." Tom followed her instructions, feeling the barrier fade and the calm return. The colony seemed quiet again, but he knew the danger had not vanished entirely. The scouts were only the first wave, and more could come. Yet, he felt a newfound confidence. He had faced something terrifying and survived, with guidance and trust. As the day ended, Myra showed him small exercises to restore energy and focus, teaching him how to feel the flow of life around him. Tom realized that these lessons were not just about defense, they were about understanding the universe and his place within it. Sitting quietly by the window that evening, Tom reflected on the events. Myra's presence was extraordinary, her knowledge beyond anything he had imagined, and the danger they faced had revealed both fear and strength within him. He knew that humanity had much to learn, and he felt honored to be part of this journey. Myra stood nearby, her eyes glowing softly. "Danger will come again," she said. "But you are learning to face it, and that is what matters. Humans can grow, Tom. You will see more of what is possible, and one day, others will follow your example." Tom nodded. He felt determination building within him. The scouts had tested him, and he had responded. He realized that his life, his home, and even humanity itself could change if he continued to learn and apply what Myra was teaching him. As night fell over the colony, Tom looked at the stars. They seemed brighter, as if inviting him to step beyond the familiar, to embrace the unknown, and to grow stronger. With Myra at his side, he felt ready for the challenges ahead, certain that the potential she spoke of could become reality. The morning air was crisp and clean, and the hills around Tom's home glowed with the soft light of dawn. Tom felt a strange excitement as he prepared for the day. After yesterday's encounter with the scouts, he had learned the first steps of defense and energy control. Today, Myra promised to teach him how to apply these skills in a more active mission, something that would test both his courage and understanding. Myra waited by the door, her figure radiating calm authority. "Today," she said, "we must venture beyond your home. There is a location nearby where I need to retrieve an energy source for my ship. It is not far, but it will test your ability to work with me. Are you ready?" Tom nodded, determination in his eyes. "I am ready. I want to learn and help." They set out, walking through the rocky hills. Myra's presence was reassuring, and Tom felt a strange harmony as they moved together. Every step seemed purposeful, and he realized that even walking with her felt like a lesson in focus and awareness. After a short distance, they reached a narrow valley. The area was filled with unusual crystals that glowed faintly. Myra stopped and pointed to a cluster of crystals. "These crystals contain concentrated energy," she explained. "They are powerful and delicate. We must extract a portion without damaging them. Watch closely and follow my guidance." Tom knelt down, studying the crystals. They pulsed gently, almost as if alive. Myra placed her hand near them, and a faint wave of light spread from her fingers. The crystals seemed to respond, their glow intensifying. "Energy is life," she said. "It responds to respect and focus. Never force it. Always guide it." Tom nodded and extended his hands carefully toward the crystals. Following her guidance, he felt a subtle vibration in his palms. Slowly, a small crystal fragment separated from the main cluster, floating gently into his hands. He could feel its energy flowing through him, warm and steady. Myra watched silently, a faint smile on her face. "Good. You are learning quickly. Now, we must move it safely back to my ship. Do not lose focus." They continued through the valley, carrying the crystal fragment. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the hills, a low, mechanical hum that made Tom's skin tingle. Myra's eyes narrowed. "Scouts again," she said quietly. "They have tracked energy signatures. We must be careful. Use the energy in your hands to shield yourself." Tom concentrated, focusing on the crystal's energy. A soft barrier formed around him, shimmering faintly but strong enough to hide him from detection. Myra moved beside him, her own energy blending with his, strengthening the protective field. Together, they were nearly invisible, moving through the valley with precision and care. The scouts appeared at the edge of the valley, scanning for signs of life. They paused, sensing something unusual, but the barrier prevented them from detecting Tom and Myra. The scouts moved on cautiously, unaware of the hidden travelers. Tom exhaled quietly. "I did not know I could do that," he whispered. Myra's eyes glowed softly. "Potential is always present. You only need guidance and practice to bring it out. Humans have strength beyond what they realize. Today, you are beginning to understand it." They reached a small clearing where Myra had hidden a compact energy vessel. Carefully, she placed the crystal fragment inside. The vessel glowed, absorbing the energy and stabilizing it. Tom watched in awe as the fragment's light merged with the vessel, creating a steady, warm glow. "You have done well," Myra said. "Now we must return before they discover our trail. Keep focus and maintain your calm. Energy responds to your state of mind." The journey back was tense. Scouts continued to patrol the hills, but Tom and Myra moved like shadows, blending with the terrain. Every step required concentration, every breath measured. Tom realized that this mission was not only about the crystal, it was a test of trust, awareness, and cooperation. At one point, a scout appeared directly ahead, blocking their path. Tom froze, but Myra whispered, "Use your energy. Do not fear. Guide it." He concentrated, and a gentle wave of energy flowed from his hands, pushing the scout backward just enough for them to pass. The scout stumbled, confused, and quickly moved on. Tom's heart raced, but he felt a surge of pride. He had faced danger and succeeded, guided by Myra's calm presence. When they returned to the home, Myra carefully placed the energy vessel near her ship. "This will allow repairs to continue faster," she said. "You have done well, Tom. You are learning to work with life and energy in ways most humans cannot imagine." Tom wiped sweat from his brow, feeling both tired and exhilarated. "I never thought I could do something like this. Working with you, it feels natural, like we are connected somehow." Myra nodded. "Connection is important. Cooperation strengthens energy and life. Alone, even the strongest being has limits. Together, potential expands." Tom realized that Myra's lessons were not just about technology or defense, they were about understanding life itself. He had learned to control energy, protect himself, and work in harmony with another being. These skills were extraordinary, and he felt honored to be trusted with them. As evening fell, they sat near the window, watching the sun sink below the hills. Tom reflected on the day's events. He had faced danger, succeeded in a mission, and begun to understand the principles Myra had taught him. The sense of accomplishment was powerful, but so was the responsibility. He knew that what he was learning could change not only his life but the future of humanity. Myra watched him quietly. "You are ready for greater lessons," she said. "But tomorrow will bring challenges that require not only skill but wisdom. Potential must be balanced with responsibility. You must remember that every action has consequences." Tom nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and determination. "I understand. I will do my best to learn and apply what you teach." Myra smiled faintly, her eyes glowing softly. "That is enough for today. Rest is necessary. Energy strengthens during calm and sleep. Tomorrow, we continue. You are becoming more capable, and your understanding of life and energy grows." As night fell, Tom looked at the stars above the hills. He felt a deep sense of purpose. He had begun a journey that would test him in ways he had never imagined. But with Myra's guidance, he believed he could face whatever challenges lay ahead. The stars seemed to shine brighter, reflecting the new hope and potential he felt within himself. He knew the path would not be easy, but he also knew that humanity could rise to meet the future. With Myra by his side, teaching him, guiding him, and showing him what was possible, he felt ready to face the unknown, grow stronger, and embrace the challenges that awaited. The morning sun rose slowly over the colony, casting long shadows across the rocky hills. Tom felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness as he prepared for another day with Myra. The lessons so far had opened his mind to incredible possibilities, but today, he sensed, would be different. Myra had been quiet in the early morning, her gaze distant, as if she were considering something important. "Tom," Myra said finally, turning toward him, her eyes reflecting the soft sunlight. "Today, I must speak with you about a choice. It is not simple, and it will change much of what you know. Are you ready to listen?" Tom nodded, though a knot of tension formed in his stomach. "Yes. I am ready." Myra led him to the edge of the valley, overlooking the distant hills and forests. She stopped and faced him, her posture calm but serious. "I came to your world seeking shelter, but my presence here has revealed something. I see in you and your species potential that could grow far beyond its current limits. Humans have curiosity, resilience, and creativity. These traits are rare and valuable in the universe." Tom listened carefully, feeling a mix of pride and confusion. I I don't understand. What do you mean?" Myra's eyes glimmered, shifting colors from gold to green. "I offer you an opportunity, Tom. An opportunity to see my world, learn our technologies, and understand principles that could allow humanity to grow, protect itself, and reach heights it has never imagined. In return, I ask only for your companionship on this journey. Not allegiance, not obedience, but trust and willingness to learn." Tom's heart raced. "Your world? You mean I could actually visit your planet?" "Yes," Myra said. "It is possible. But it is not a simple trip. The journey is long and filled with challenges. You will leave behind your home, your routines, and the safety of this colony. You will face things no human has ever faced. And yet, if you succeed, you will gain knowledge that could help all of humanity." Tom took a deep breath. The weight of her words pressed on him. This was no ordinary offer. It could change his life, and perhaps the future of his species. But it was also terrifying. He had grown comfortable in his quiet colony, and the thought of leaving everything familiar behind filled him with fear. I I don't know if I'm ready," he admitted. "It sounds amazing, but also dangerous." Myra stepped closer, her glowing presence calming him. "Fear is natural," she said softly. "Even the strongest beings feel it. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. You have already faced danger, guided energy, and protected life. These are the first steps toward greater understanding. The next step requires choice. Tom looked down at the ground, thinking of his home, his small garden, and the quiet life he had built. Yet, he also thought of the lessons Myra had taught him, the energy he had learned to control, and the incredible glimpses of her world. He realized that staying behind would mean continuing life as it had always been, while stepping forward could open doors to knowledge and growth humanity had never seen. "I want to do it," he said finally, lifting his gaze to meet hers. "I want to learn, to grow, and to help humanity reach its potential. I will trust you and follow your guidance." Myra's eyes glimmered with approval. "Good," she said. "This choice is the first true test. The journey will demand focus, courage, and understanding. You will face challenges that require both skill and wisdom. But I will guide you. Together, we can achieve what humans alone could not." Tom felt a surge of determination. He knew the path ahead would not be easy. He would leave his home, face dangers unknown, and learn things beyond his current understanding. Yet, for the first time in his life, he felt that his purpose was larger than himself. Myra extended her hand, a soft glow emanating from her palm. "Before we depart, you must prepare. You will need to strengthen your body, mind, and energy control. Tomorrow, we begin practical training for the journey. You will learn to travel, to sense life and energy across distances, and to navigate dangers you have never imagined." Tom took her hand, feeling warmth and reassurance. "I am ready to prepare. I want to learn everything you can teach me." Myra smiled, a gentle and encouraging expression that seemed to brighten the surrounding hills. "Good. Preparation is key. Knowledge without readiness is dangerous. You will learn not only to travel but to grow as a being capable of guiding others." They spent the rest of the day practicing energy control, refining the skills Tom had learned in the previous days. Myra guided him through exercises that strengthened his focus, expanded his awareness, and deepened his connection to life around him. Tom felt stronger, more aware, and more confident than he had ever felt before. As evening approached, Myra prepared a small device she called a communicator. "This will allow us to maintain contact across distances," she explained. "It is not only a tool but a way to feel each other's presence and energy. Use it carefully, and it will guide you when you are far from me." Tom held the device, marveling at its simplicity and power. He could feel a faint vibration, almost like a heartbeat, as if it were alive. "It feels alive," he said, awe in his voice. "Yes," Myra said. "All advanced tools are extensions of energy and life. They respond to respect and understanding. You will learn to work with them naturally. Your potential is growing quickly, Tom. Soon, you will be ready to step beyond this world and see the universe in ways humans have only imagined." Tom looked at Myra, feeling both excitement and responsibility. She had given him a choice that could alter the course of his life and the future of humanity. He realized the trust she placed in him was immense, and he vowed silently to honor it. Night fell over the colony, and the stars shone brightly in the clear sky. Tom felt a sense of awe as he gazed upward. Each star seemed like a promise, a possibility, a path to something greater. He knew the journey ahead would be challenging, but with Myra's guidance, he felt ready to face it. Myra stood beside him, her presence calm and radiant. "Rest now," she said softly. "Tomorrow, we begin the next phase. Your training will prepare you for the journey, and each lesson will bring you closer to understanding your true potential. You are not alone. Together, we will shape what is possible." Tom nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. For the first time in his life, he understood that life was larger than the quiet colony, larger than his own fears. With courage, trust, and guidance, he could face challenges beyond imagination. And one day, he could help humanity rise to a future filled with knowledge, harmony, and hope. As he lay down to sleep, Tom's mind raced with images of Myra's world, the energy he had learned to control, and the journey that awaited him. He felt a mix of excitement, nervousness, and determination. The choice had been made, and there was no turning back. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, it was full of possibility. The morning air was crisp, and the colony seemed quieter than usual. Tom felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness as he prepared for the day. Today, he would take the next step, leaving the colony and embarking on a journey that could change his life and the future of humanity. Myra was waiting by the edge of the property, her ship gleaming softly in the sunlight. The energy surrounding her seemed brighter, more focused, as if the vessel itself was alive and aware of what was about to happen. "You are ready," Myra said calmly, her eyes glowing with soft shades of blue and gold. "Your training has strengthened your mind, body, and energy control. You understand the principles I have taught, and you are prepared to face the journey ahead." Tom nodded, feeling a surge of determination. He had learned to sense energy, protect life, and work in harmony with Myra. The lessons had been challenging, but each one had revealed a new potential within him. "I am ready," he said firmly. "I will do my best, and I will learn everything you can teach me." Myra extended her hand, a gentle wave of light radiating from her palm. "Then let us begin. Step onto the ship, and open your mind to what is possible. The universe is vast, but potential exists for those willing to learn and grow." Tom stepped forward, his heart racing. As he entered the ship, he noticed the walls seemed to pulse with life, soft lights tracing paths across the surfaces. Myra guided him to a central area where the energy vessel from the valley glowed steadily. "This vessel contains the energy necessary for travel and stability," she explained. "It will also help you maintain connection with life, with energy, and with understanding. Treat it with respect, and it will serve you well." Tom nodded, feeling the warmth of the energy as it flowed through the room. He could sense its rhythm, almost like a heartbeat, and he realized that the ship itself was not merely a vessel, it was an extension of life and energy. Myra gestured toward a control panel filled with soft glowing symbols. "These controls respond to thought and focus," she said. "You must guide the ship with clarity, not force. Energy responds to understanding, not strength. I will assist, but you must learn to cooperate with the systems." Tom reached out, placing his hands near the panel. At first, nothing happened, but as he focused, he felt a subtle vibration beneath his fingers. Slowly, the symbols glowed brighter, responding to his concentration. Myra guided him patiently, and the ship began to hum with life, as if acknowledging his presence. "You are learning quickly," she said. "This is only the first step. Travel requires more than skill, it requires awareness of the universe, respect for energy, and the ability to act calmly in the face of uncertainty." Tom nodded, absorbing every word. He had learned patience, focus, and cooperation. Now, it was time to put all those lessons into action. The ship began to rise, moving gently over the hills. Tom watched as the colony became smaller below him, the rocky landscape stretching out in every direction. He felt a mixture of nostalgia and anticipation, knowing he might not return for a long time, if ever. "Do not fear leaving your home," Myra said softly. "Growth requires change. Potential cannot be realized without stepping beyond the familiar. You are ready for this, Tom." As they traveled into the sky, the ship moved seamlessly, responding to Tom's focus and Myra's guidance. Stars began to appear as daylight faded, stretching across the universe like a vast tapestry. Tom felt awe and humility. He had dreamed of the stars, but seeing them up close, knowing he was moving among them, filled him with wonder. Myra placed a hand on his shoulder, her touch warm and reassuring. "The universe is filled with life, energy, and possibilities," she said. Humans have the ability to reach beyond their limits, to explore, to learn, and to protect. Your journey is the beginning of something greater than yourself. Tom smiled, feeling the weight of responsibility and the excitement of adventure. He realized that humanity's future could be shaped by knowledge, courage, and cooperation. With Myra guiding him, he felt that he could achieve what once seemed impossible. The ship moved faster now, leaving the Andorra system behind. Tom observed distant planets, swirling nebulae, and streams of cosmic light. He could feel the energy of the universe, subtle and powerful, flowing through the ship and through him. "You see, Tom," Myra said, her voice calm but full of meaning, "energy connects all life. Understanding it allows you to guide, to protect, and to grow. Humanity has this potential, but it must be realized consciously. You are the first step, the spark that can inspire others." Tom nodded, determination in his eyes. "I understand. I will do my best. I will learn, and I will help humanity reach its potential." Myra's eyes glimmered. "Good. The path ahead will have challenges. You will face uncertainty, resistance, and danger. But every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to strengthen, and to understand. Trust yourself, and trust the lessons you have learned." As the ship moved further into space, Tom felt a sense of freedom and possibility he had never known. The universe was vast, full of unknown worlds, strange energies, and incredible knowledge. Yet, he also felt a sense of purpose. He was no longer just a solitary human on a quiet colony. He was part of something larger, a journey that could shape the future of his species. Myra guided the ship toward a distant star cluster, her movements precise and calm. Tom followed her guidance, feeling more confident with every passing moment. He realized that the lessons were not only about energy or technology, they were about understanding, cooperation, and responsibility. As they traveled, Tom imagined the possibilities for humanity. He thought of cities powered by understanding, of knowledge shared freely, and of life guided by respect for energy and cooperation. He knew the path would not be easy, but he also knew it was possible. With courage, learning, and guidance, humans could rise to new heights. Hours passed, and the stars stretched endlessly around them. Tom felt a deep sense of connection to the universe, to Myra, and to the energy that flowed through everything. He understood that potential was not given, it was earned, nurtured, and guided. Myra watched him quietly, her presence steady and reassuring. "You are ready for what comes next," she said. "The universe awaits, and humanity's potential is within your reach. Your journey is only beginning, but the lessons you carry will grow and multiply." Tom smiled, filled with hope and determination. "I am ready," he said. "I will face whatever comes, learn all I can, and help humanity grow." As the ship glided through the stars, Tom realized that life had changed forever. The quiet colony, the lessons of energy, and Myra's guidance had prepared him for this moment. The journey ahead was uncertain, but filled with promise. And for the first time, he felt certain that humanity could rise to meet the challenges of the universe, guided by knowledge, courage, and hope. The stars stretched endlessly before them, bright and full of possibility. Tom looked forward, ready to embrace the adventure, and ready to help humanity achieve its true potential.